Okay, welcome to the Conscious Contact group of Alcoholics Anonymous. My name's Ron. I'm an alcoholic. Hey guys. This is a 1-hour speaker meeting. Meets here every Saturday evening at St. Paul's Lutheran Church, 301 North Main Street, at 8:30 p.m. in Doylestown, PA. We record all speakers so that others may benefit from their message of recovery. If you wish not to be recorded, simply ask. This is an open meeting of Alcoholics Anonymous. The group would like to welcome everyone, especially newcomers. Is there anyone here new or from out of town that would like to introduce themselves with their first name?
My name's Edie, I'm an alcoholic.
Hi, Edie, welcome.
Welcome. My name's Katie, I'm an alcoholic.
Hey, Katie, welcome.
Welcome. My name's Carol, alcoholic.
Hi, Carol.
Welcome.
Hope. Hi, Hope. We have Hope in the room tonight. That's what I said. Who else? Anybody else? Good.
I'm Belinda, I'm an alcoholic.
Hi, Belinda, welcome.
I'm Julie, I'm an alcoholic.
Hi, Julie, welcome.
Paula Kermack, alcoholic.
Hi, Paula, welcome. We got everybody? Okay. All right, welcome to everybody else. Where was I? Okay, if you have any questions or like to make this your home group, see me or any group member after the meeting. The Conscious Contact Group encourages sponsorship. Would anyone with working knowledge of the 12 steps and is willing to sponsor, please raise your hands. Good stuff. Are there any announcements for the good of AA? B.
So our wonderful storm that was no storm, we rescheduled our anniversary meeting for this Wednesday. Clear Cut Directions Group in Harvey Land. Food and Fellowship Executive Speaker Robbie L. coming from New
Robbie
Jersey
S.
at 7. Robbie Lufsteyer from at 7 o'clock will be our speaker. All are welcome. Come hell or high water, snow or no snow, we're going to have it this Wednesday. Flyers are up here on the table if you need them. Thanks.
Thank you, B. And I heard she's giving away a Cadillac. So. we have meeting lists and big books on easy terms. Please see me or any group member after the meeting. If you cannot afford a big book, the Conscious Contact Group will give you one at no charge. Anyone willing to make donations for the purchase of big books and CDs to help those that can't afford them can put donations in the jar marked donations for CDs and big books. Okay, if you'd like a CD of any speaker past or present, just see me after the meeting and they're available free of charge. We always need help, so if you'd like to get involved, see me or any group member after this. The AA Preamble. Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength, and hope with each other that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organization, or institution, does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. And at this moment, I've asked Edie to please come up and read the 12 Steps of Recovery of Alcoholics Anonymous.
My name's Edie, I'm an alcoholic. These are the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous. We admitted that we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable. 2, came to believe in a power greater than ourselves that could restore us to sanity. 3, made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood Him. 4, made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. 5, admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. 6, we were entirely ready to have God remove all these defects of character. 7, humbly asked Him to remove our shortcomings. 8, made a list of all persons we had harmed and became willing to make amends to them all. 9, made direct amends to such people wherever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. 10, continued to take personal inventory, and when we were wrong, promptly admitted it. 11, sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact as we understood Him, praying only for knowledge of His will and the power to carry that out. 12, having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, we tried to carry this message to alcoholics and practice these principles in all our affairs.
Okay, where were we? Okay, we have a 7th tradition. We are every AA group ought to be self-supporting, declining outside contributions. At this time, like to pass the baskets, and if you cannot afford it, please do not put anything in the basket. If you're not an alcoholic, please do not put anything in the basket. We are self-supporting through our own contributions, and we have a lot of overhead. We've been bringing a lot of big books into the prisons lately, 3 to 4 a week, which is running about $40 a week. So if you like to make donations, feel free to put that over there. There's absolutely no smoking on the church property. That's the one thing that they were very, very picky about, so please try not to do that. And please silence your cell phones now. And I'd like to introduce our speaker at this point, Paula G. from Delaware. Now, she has her home group. It's something big book breakdown, 7:30, ... dash. She's going to come up here, and she's going to...
A lot of words.
A lot of words. Come on up here, Paula. Let's welcome her.
That happened before I expected it. Hi, everybody. I'm Paula Germack. I'm an alcoholic. Nice to be here. My anniversary. Sorry, I keep pulling up my pants and stuff like that. Like everything's falling down here. This is a really warm, smiling, bright group, and it's really nice to look out and see all your happy faces. It makes me feel more comfortable. I'm not really normally like one to really like to stand up in front of people and talk. Like I'd rather like stand back like that, and I'm more of a trench working kind of person, like one-on-one working with alcoholics. But my job really is to just I don't know, to probably tell you what it used to be like for me, and what happened, and what I'm like now. And I have a couple of my new friends here, and she's heard a little bits and pieces of my story. And she's like, no, I cannot believe you're that person. You look so different. Like, she's like, you look like a professional businesswoman or something. And, I was sharing with her, I actually ran with the Pagans a little bit, ex-meth maker seller, and alcoholic hippie, and in all kinds of compromising situations. So you can see what God has done for me. It's pretty amazing, I think. So my anniversary date is January 1st, 1997. That's not the first time I came in. It's actually the second time I came in. First time I came in was in 1979. And I'll tell you a little bit about that, too, because it's kind of interesting, the experiences I had in 79 and the experiences I had in 1997 are like two different experiences. One was fellowship awakening, really no spiritual awakening, really not much recovery. I just didn't drink. And the other one was like entirely different. Like I didn't even know that's what the fellowship had to offer. Clueless about it. Always thought this was just a non-drinking club. And I'm not saying that to make fun of anybody, because if you tell people to just not drink, that's fine. I don't care. But I literally thought that's all AA had to offer. I really did. So I always like to just share a little bit about and I don't even know if this is relevant, because this doesn't really make me like an alcoholic or anything, but it might like tell you like a little bit about my alcoholism, like my alcoholism. Like even as a little kid, I was kind of like odd. All I wanted to do was, he's laughing, all I wanted to do was like read, hide in my room, and I literally spent hours laying on my bed daydreaming. Like I was wide awake, but I was daydreaming. And the daydream went like this: I think I'm adopted, I'm a princess, and somebody's going to come and rescue me. Now you would think if you're doing that, like maybe downstairs your parents, like something horrendous is happening in your household. Nothing was happening in my household. Nothing. It was all happening up in my head. I was so afraid. I don't know why. That's my alcoholism, I guess. But I was always very afraid, always looking for a power to work in my life before I was introduced to alcohol. So my first power was reading. And every book that I read, it's really kind of weird, like every book that I read, as I got older, I remember reading I was really into Minnie Mouse. The Mickey Mouse Club was really big, like when I was growing up. I'm old, and that was a really big thing. And so I would like read about Minnie Mouse. I would watch Minnie Mouse on TV, and then I would come downstairs and I would talk in Minnie Mouse's voice. And I would say things like, "Hi, Mom, when's dinner?" in this really high-pitched, like squeaky voice. And she would like say, "Paula, your voice is going to freeze like that." Like she just said the weirdest things, but she really didn't know what to do with me, and I never got really better. I got even worse. I got even more shyer. Like as I got older, it became almost like debilitating, really. I would just want to stay in my room and read. And I remember my mom trying to join me to these different things and like cheerleading, and I was too shy for that, and I wasn't really very good at anything, and I don't know. And and I remember even like as I got older thinking, I feel like this because my dad is an assembly line worker. Like I literally thought everything that I felt inside of me was as a result of my outside circumstances. And I remember thinking, my mother isn't very loving. She's like German style, you know, and never hugs me and things like that. That must be why I'm acting like this. I really thought that as a young kid. I was really creative. I was smart. I'm not anymore. I've done way too many drugs to be considered smart now. But so I had a lot of like creative insight and intuition, but none of it was accurate, and it was all projected out. And I remember when I went in high school, Twiggy was really big. She was really big when I was growing up. And I remember thinking, I know what's wrong with me. If I was just a little bit taller, if my lips were just a little bit smaller. You know, it was things like that. Like I would literally look at other people and compare myself all the time. And okay, so I'm saying that's what's going on inside of me. However, I'm in about 6 different groups in school, and nobody knows this is going on in my head. Like I'm hanging out with the heads, those were the drug addicts back then. I'm hanging out with the jocks. I'm hanging out with the greasers. And I'm hanging out with the cheerleaders. I'm doing all of this. But inside, I'm literally dying. I'm so uncomfortable. And I don't even know that. I'm just really uncomfortable. I remember my first drink. I don't really remember how it happened. I was our school merged with the problem area, and I was introduced to alcohol. I remember drinking it. I remember laughing. I remember feeling really kind of comfortable for the first time. I know you guys have heard all this before, what alcohol has done for us, you know, not to me, but what it did for me. And unfortunately, and I know this isn't everybody's story, I couldn't stop drinking. I drank until I missed time. I used to call blacking out missing time. And when I came to, there was this little boy on me. I wasn't undressed, but it was very uncomfortable. And I was like maybe in 9th grade. And I came to, and I pushed him off, and I remember being afraid because I had to get home, and I might smell like alcohol. My parents didn't notice. I remember going home, I went into my room, and I was a good little Catholic girl, and I remember thinking, God, I can't wait to do that again. Like even the horrible situation of having somebody kind of semi-attack me didn't put me off of wanting to do that again. So it had me hooked right away. It really literally had me hooked right away. And that's just like, I only remember a little bit of my drinking and drugging days because I blacked out almost right away. And so I blacked out so quickly, so frequently, that I had to become very inventive with my lies. It was like right away people were telling me, you did this and you did that, and it was kind of embarrassing, but I didn't want to let them know. So I would say, oh yeah, I know I did that, and I would laugh it off. So then I switched to other substances. So I had a whole year of doing other substances without drinking to try to control and manage me getting out of me, escaping me getting out of me, because I always need it to get out of me. That's the bottom line. That's what my alcoholism looks like. And I would use anything to get out of me. And early on it was books and voices and daydreaming. And then I went to alcohol and then drugs and alcohol. And I was off to the races. I didn't last very long. It was 1970 to about 1979. 1970 to about 1979. Crashed and burned pretty quick. Couldn't stop drinking. My drinking got so bad that my bosses didn't know whether I would show up at work, because during that period I was working for DuPont too, and they were so afraid they didn't know if they would read about me in the obituary. They actually shared that with me when I did my amends. My drinking was so bad that I would disappear at work and not come back. But here's a really good example where my drinking led me. You know that whole line in the big book where it says, whoops, where it says control and enjoy. You know, an alcoholic will find one of the qualifiers is, can you control your drinking and enjoy it? Can you enjoy your drinking and control it? And like my sponsor really had to work with me on that. I never understood this. This is all hindsight, you know, like going through all this, I never knew any of these experiences. It's me having a spiritual awakening as a result of the steps, being able to look back on my life and realize what was going on. And so, you know, a perfect example of me controlling and enjoying was when I went anywhere with my work buddies. I worked at DuPont. I worked in a think tank. I worked in R&D. I was a professional. I worked with engineers, chemists, patent attorneys. It's not a good idea for me not to look professional. And yet, slowly but surely, I was starting to look less and less professional. But the highlight of that career was when we had a pool party. And the pool party was on Sunday. And I said, I'll go, because, I'm just going to have a couple drinks. I'm not going to drink before, because God knows that's a big mistake. Don't ever drink before, to get tuned up, because it'll really be bad. I only did that with the corner people. But, by the way, while I'm hanging out with the DuPonters and trying to look right, at night I'm on Market Street in Wilmington in the 70s, during the race riots, hanging out on the corner with the African-American guys. So, I was like, all these different, like, actors and personas and everything, but to get back to the pool party, so I knew what I had to do. I knew I had to, like, behave. So I go to this pool party and we're drinking, and and I'm just like, just having a little sip and doing that whole thing you do. And went home, everything's fine. Went to work Monday. I walk in work, and the guard's looking at me like this, and I'm like, hey John, how you doing? Hey Paula. He's looking, and I'm like, what's his problem, What's going on with him? I go on the plant, it's an operating plant, and one guy comes up to me, he said, do you know what you did on Sunday? And I'm like, oh, yeah, because this is what I always say, oh, yeah, it was funny, wasn't it? Well, wasn't too funny, because I was the girl at the DuPont pool party that decided that skinny dipping was a great idea. In front of my boss, in front of the plant manager, in front of the CEOs. I am the naked one. And that's not the first time I've decided to be naked in group settings, by the way. I'm the one that led the naked sit-ins at the University of Delaware in the 1970s, too. That's my proud name is associated with that. So, I like to drink and drug, and then I take my clothes off. I don't know why. Some girls don't do that. Some girls stay home in the kitchen, and they just cook. I don't do that. I take all my clothes off for some reason. Whether I look good or not, it doesn't matter. I'm just that type of person. I just lose all my values, all my morals. And so that was the pinnacle for me, was that's my qualification as an alcoholic, one of many. Anyhow, so towards the end of my drinking, that wasn't really in the end. That was like maybe 1976 or 77. Towards the end of my drinking, I had gotten into some really bad stuff, and I had gotten into this bad stuff because of the blackouts. The blackouts were so bad, I was like driving down the wrong side of the turnpike, total in my car, and I just couldn't stop. I remember one time I got surgery, and I went home, and I had to drink so bad. It was in a snowstorm. We were in North Wilmington. Band-Aids were all over me, and I just got out there and started walking down Naaman's Road to Ed and Milt's Honey's liquor store. I mean, it just was really bad for me. And so towards the end of my drinking, because, there was no way I was going to quit drinking. If you had asked me what drinking was to me back then, I would have said to you the pat answer, you're not cool. This is a lot of fun. I'm a hippie. This is what hippies do. Now, mind you, all my idols, okay, Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, Jim Morrison. You get the theme. They all OD'd, they're all dead, and they're my idols. And that's what I was like fashioning myself after was, it's funny because I always just wanted to be like a groupie. Like I never wanted to aspire to be a musician or anything like that. Like my biggest aim in life was just to be a groupie. To be a groupie and do drugs and alcohol and la la la, isn't that fun? And I wasn't brought up that way, but it gave me such a release from me. It took me out of me, and I couldn't stand being in me. I was too afraid to live. So towards the end, I got into some pretty heavy stuff because there was no amount of controlling and drinking I could do. I had done the switching game like the big book talks about. I tried every combination. I tried new friends. I tried exercise. I tried the tequila diet. That wasn't a good idea. I tried the wine diet. That gave me migraine headaches. I tried everything except I finally found a substance that would keep me awake nonstop, and I never went into a blackout again. And now I was off to the races. So now I got this high-powered kind of thing going on. So, instead of blacking out, which might be good because then maybe eventually I would pass out, I was up 24/7, and that's when I really hit the skids. And I'm actually grateful for that part of my story because I came in really young. I came in 1979. I was 23 years old, so I don't think I would have gone much longer the way I was going. So when I added that other stuff, it just pushed me over. And towards the end, I had 3 personalities. I'm here to tell you I don't have 3 personalities anymore. That went after I put all the substances down. But I was Paula, Patra, and Chloe. And Patra was kind of mean, Chloe was a lot of fun, and Paula was kind of serious. So I had a mean, serious, and a fun one. And, and so I would be a different personality depending on who I wanted to be that day. I know it sounds crazy. I'm not crazy. I'm not any more crazy than the typical alcoholic today. Let me preface that. But so that's where my life went to. People tried to intervene. I remember my aunt showing up at work and crying, literally crying. Paula, you haven't seen your parents for years. Your mom is dying. She's literally dying. She's so worried. She's so scared for you. And I remember just going, really? Oh, really? Like, you're bringing me down. Seriously? Like, don't bring my buzz down. Like, I just really thought it was my right. I'm not hurting anybody. This is about me. I'm having fun. Go mind your own business. And that's how I used to talk. Just mind your own business. And honestly, the first few years in AA was just like that. Not much change other than no alcohol and drugs. Towards the end, I started getting in with a little bit of a motorcycle club, and I ran with them, did some different things with them. Wasn't eating, got down to about 90 pounds. I told my friend the other day I was 70. That's grossly exaggerated, but I was 90 pounds. I was about 85, 90 pounds. Because you're going to lose weight when you're not eating, and I couldn't see, I was driving, I couldn't see. So where's the end of this story going? Well, the end of this story is going, I went to New Jersey somehow. I don't know how I got there with my boyfriend, and who became my husband. I broke him out of the hospital. He had broken ribs. That's another story. I hired a pagan to beat him up because he cheated on me, and then I broke him out of the hospital. That's the kind of stuff I used to do. So I ended up in New Jersey. My parents rescued both of us. They put my husband in Shikshinny rehab, where prisoners go, and I ended up in Hidden Brook, which is kind of like Father Martin Ashley's. It's a virtual country club. It is a country club. It is cool. Pool tables, ping pong, good food. It was a lot of fun. Actually, it wasn't a lot of fun, but it was really nice. However, I had narcolepsy the entire time I was there. I fell asleep during every single session, but they were getting all the drugs and alcohol out of my body. And the one thing I heard, it was almost the last week I was there, was they started talking about what an alcoholic is. They really were hitting the mental obsession and the physical phenomenon of craving. I had never heard that before. I just thought I was a girl that liked to have fun, and somehow wasn't managing it right. I really did. If anybody's thinking that, I totally get why you would think that, because I did too. I'm not one of those ones that came in and out, and said, I'm an alcoholic. No, never. Now, my cousin Bobby was an alcoholic because he fell all the time, and he acted really wacky. My other cousin slept outside all the time. He was an alcoholic. But Paula had a job, and she looked good. Well, no, towards the end I didn't look good. But so see, I never really thought I was an alcoholic. So I went off on a whole tangent there, didn't I? Whoa, bring her back. Anyhow, where was I, B? I was in the rehab. I got out of the rehab, and I heard one thing. And it was like right before I got out, I heard him talking about the whole physiological brain stuff. And remember, I fancied myself intelligent. So I was attracted to that, and I said, oh. And plus I was in so much trouble. I was in so much trouble, you guys. I had to listen to something. It rang a chord, a little chord. It maybe made me think I might not be able to drink. And it was because they talked about the phenomena of craving and the biological component, the physiological craving. The brain was wired differently. And like I said, I fancied myself this high-level scientist. Oh, my God. And so I was attracted to that. I got out of Hidden Brook. I had 30 days under my belt. I had never not drank before. And I'm going to just tell you this. The obsession was gone. It was lifted. I did nothing to have this lifted. I didn't even believe in God. I was a hardcore atheist. Hardcore atheist. So what I said to myself is, I'm doing this. Look at me. I'm doing this. So I took all the credit for a power greater than me. Took all the credit. And so I got out. My husband got out of Shikshinny, the prison one. He was by far more spiritual than me. He had a big book, and in the big book in the front it said, to my really good friend Mike, and some kind of little prayer, and then it said John. And I said, Mike, did you turn gay while you were in Shikshinny? I I was scared because we had a lot of experiences, and I was afraid, man, because he hadn't done that. But with this guy writing a personal note in his book, you got to be kidding me, man. That is like gay. So, I mean, that's where I was, like this crazy, crazy girl. So, of course, he looked at me like I was a little nutty, and he wanted to talk about God a little bit, and I was like, I ain't having none of that, but, I won't drink, and we'll go to these meetings. And I remember going to the meetings, and really interesting experience there, because I marched myself in the meetings. I took the chair, and I'm looking around. And I got to tell you, back in the 70s, there weren't any big books on the table. There were a lot of 12 and 12s. It's just the way it was. Nobody was talking about the book. No one was talking about God. No one was talking about the steps. But what we were in there talking about was this new agey problem kind of stuff. And everybody was sharing about their problems. And I remember one guy coming to me up to me after the meeting and saying, "You better share your problem or you're going to drink again." And I remember thinking, a loser. Like, first of all, let me just tell you this. I'm 23. I don't have any problems. Seriously. So here I am. I'm 23. How bad can it really be? Plus, they give the impression, that my problems are why I'm drinking. I'm not drinking because of my problems. I'm the problem. But I was never introduced to that kind of thought. I was introduced to this, you got to go to a meeting, you got to go every day, you got to pull up a chair, and don't drink. Now, if you're saying that today, that's okay. There's other, the big books out there today, but I did not hear the steps at all. And so I sat there silently, like I was sentenced to prison. The obsession was lifted, or else I probably would have been drinking again, because that was a very unattractive, it was very unattractive. It was just very unattractive. Even the faces were unhappy looking, and I just remember thinking, I don't want to be here. I just won't drink. I just won't drink. I can do that, right? I'm just not going to drink. Because that's what they said in the meeting, just don't drink. I won't drink. That's my problem, right? So I decided it was now time to work on me, because I lost those 9 years. And with my kind of talent, I could be the leader of industry. I don't know. So then I started looking to earn some money. And then I started having kids. And what I noticed when this was going on, now this is hindsight again, because I got two experiences to compare it to. I was a little empty in here. And yet, I was married to the love of my life. The love of my life. We did drink and drug together. We got sober together. We made children together. I was deeply in love. If anyone has ever been deeply in love, that was the experience I was going through. And yet, something was missing. And I didn't know what it was. So I said, Mike, you got to work more hours. We need to get a better house. Okay, he said. Because I thought, like I always thought, everything wrong is out there. I put the alcohol down. I'm being told that's all my problem is. I can't say that enough. It was so shocking to me. I put it down. I'm still empty in here. Oh, we need to aspire to get more things. So he worked more hours. He owned his own company. We did accumulate a little bit of money. We had a little bit of wealth. It's gone. Didn't come back. Well, it came back, but I spent it again. It comes and goes because I'm not good with money. But that's a whole nother story. So we did amass a little bit of, we did amass a little bit of money. And that 1 year, I think I had 6 different cars. I had a van, a Saab, a Volvo, a Range Rover, a Land Rover, and 2 Jeeps, 4-wheel. Those cute little Wrangler Jeeps, because I thought it was like a little college kid, right? Really inappropriate. In 1 year, so you could see what I'm doing. I'm filling that emptiness the best way I know how. I just don't know how. I don't know what's wrong. Like, I got everything. I love my husband. I got my kids. I got a house. I retired from DuPont. I didn't even have to go to work anymore. I didn't even have to go out to the daily drudge of work. And yet something doesn't feel right. So Mike's working. I'm spending. He's gambling, which I didn't know about. Because, see, he was filling that same hole in his soul. And we got no God. We got nobody else, no one else's interest on our heart. We've got maybe the love of our family, but we're not supporting our society. And I'm still being selfish, because even if I got love in my heart for my family, it's all about what I look like and how I look to you. And like I said, Mike was working about 60, 70 hours a week, driving. He had a really big heart, too. He would hire all the alcoholics, whether they're drinking or not. Nice guy. He was nice. I wasn't. He was really nice. I was like a little rabid bulldog. He was real tall and thin and real easygoing and laid back. And yeah, Paul, okay, I'll work harder. Yeah, sure, we'll get more money. Yeah, we got to, we'll get another house. We moved up. We built a house in Middletown. We got a really nice house in a really yuppie area. That was so important to me to be in that yuppie area because I was all about that, trying to fill that hole in my soul, that emptiness, that disconnect. I didn't know what I was disconnected from. God only knows it was God. But so, anyhow, not a good ending to this part of my story because the love of my life went to work and never came home. Got in a car accident. Sober from 1979 to the day he died in a car accident in 1992. Hard-working man, went to work, never came home. You know what's interesting is that day, we never talked on the phone because he came home every night. He called me that day. And he said, Paula, we're going to go get crabs tonight, right? I said, yeah, we're going out with your parents. We're getting crabs. And I'm thinking, why is he calling me? This is really weird. This is really odd. Why is he calling me? I'm like, yes, hon. Yes, we're getting crabs. I know you like crabs. Hurry up. I got shit to do, And so I hang up the phone. I went out to lunch with my parents. I'm sitting at the table. This is so weird. This talks about how we're really all interconnected, which I missed the whole first part of my life. But I'm sitting at the table with my parents, and I said, Mom, something's happened to Mike. I have to go now. I felt his spirit leave me. I felt his spirit leave me. I went home. There was a message on my phone. You know the story. Got in a car accident. He was ejected. He was killed on the spot. So there I am. My power just died. Oh, by the way, I didn't tell you that. Mike was my power. So if any of you guys have assigned your significant other that role, stop it. Stop it. Seriously. They should never be in the spot where God belongs. Look at the pressure. I feel so guilty about that. Like, I know I didn't, kill him. However, because of our life, because it was so materialistic instead of spiritual, that man was doing the best he could to work all those hours. And he agreed to it, so it was the two of us together. But he was my power. I relied on him for everything. And I still felt empty, by the way. And he did a good job. He did a good job in our relationship. So he's gone. I got 2 kids, 2-year-old and a 5-year-old, in this big house with no job and a mortgage. Lovely. I didn't drink. The obsession didn't come back. It did not come back at all. It was gone. I did not think I need to drink over this. I did not think let me have some alcohol. But what happened about 3 years later is I was shaking constantly. Untreated alcoholic, grieving, and I'm shaking like this constantly. I don't know why I'm shaking. I really don't know what's going on with me. I go to the doctor and they give me pills. And part of me was like, yeah, nice. I was off to the races. I couldn't get enough pills. I started reading medical books. How do you get Valium? I heard they're not popular anymore. I had everything. Lithium, Librium, Fioricets, Wellbutrin, Paxil, you name it. I had it. All of it. All of it. Till the point where it was 1995, 1996. I was dating this guy, and when he knew I wasn't drinking, and we went into a bar, and just like that, no obsession, no warning, I said, I've never had a dark beer. I think I'm going to have a dark beer. And it made sense. I had never had a dark beer. It was a honey brown, and why not? And I'll tell you, I put that thing to my lips, and I couldn't stop drinking. It gave me such relief from me. It became my solution again. And I didn't even see it coming. I didn't even know it. I couldn't have been warned for it. There was nothing I could do. And I remember at the same time I was on Fioricets and all these other pills and everything. And I knew Bob would not, somehow, intuitively, I knew Bob, the date, would not want to see me drinking the way I needed to drink. Because I remember kind of taking his drink and him looking at me weird, like, what? So I said, Bob, you know how we do. I said, Bob, I'll be back in a minute. I bellied up to the bar. A couple, whatever you call them, shots and things like that. I'm telling you, I was like a dying girl, couldn't get enough in me. Just couldn't get enough in me. It was on. And I remember I went into the bathroom and I was taking all these pills. And this is so disgusting, but I want to share this with you because this is how I get. I was taking the pills and I was drinking and I was happy and giggling, kind of like how I am today, but I'm happy and giggling because of God, So I'm happy and giggling because I got this other spirit, and it's the spirit of alcohol, and it's working real well. And I had just thrown a big handful of pills, like, because I got to have it all, right? And boy, that'll really magnify that high. And all of a sudden I threw up. And I was down at Chesapeake City, and I was in the bathroom, and all the pills came out, and I'm looking like this, and I look around, and I bent down and scooped them up. Yeah, got the 2-second rule, right? Can't waste. That's the kind of alcoholic I am, not to gross you out. I mean, I'm actually not telling you half of the crap I did, but that's how it was for me. And I was off to the races again, except this time I started having seizures. And I didn't know there were seizures. I thought, gee, maybe I didn't get any sleep last night or something. I would be like in a bookstore. This was so vivid for me. I was walking in a bookstore. It was over at the Newark Shopping Center. And I'm walking around. I'm looking at books. God knows why I'm looking at books. I can barely read. I'm so crazy because I'm doing all the pills. And then I'm at the college campus and I'm doing ecstasy and crazy stuff like that and drinking and just carrying on like I'm 12 again. But I all of a sudden fell down in the bookstore. And the only thing I could say about that was, God, I hope nobody saw me. That's all I could get out of that. And I kept doing that. I kept falling down. I was in a lot of danger. Like God was really watching over me because I could have fallen in the shower, in the bathroom. I could have hit my head. I could have killed myself. But God saw fit not to have that experience. So a couple other bad things happened to me. I totaled a car, almost went off a bridge. You know the story. I went down the beach with Bob and left him with the band. I mean, it's just crazy stuff like that. All happening again. And I remember, I think, here's what happened. Here's me burning my life down to the ground so bad that not even I can drink. Not even I can drug. Here's my last experience. This is actually my last experience that had me stop drinking. I would have a habit, I wasn't married to Bob yet, but I had a habit of getting loaded. Remember how I told you like my clothes come off all the time? It's just a very bad habit. So I have a habit, I'm drinking, and I like to go to bar because I really want to be social. Like part of me really loves people, but when I'm not drinking and drugging, I'm really afraid of people, And so, but I really want to be social, so I'm drinking and drugging. It's the first thing I want to do. So I go out and I go to bars, and the first thing I like to do when I go to a bar is pick up a guy because I like attention. That's all. Innocent, right? Yeah, right. So I was down in an area I don't usually go to, and because times have changed, and it's even worse now today drinking than it probably was. I don't know. We were different back in our day, but anyhow, it's more dangerous today, I guess. But anyhow, so I saw this guy, and I started talking with him, and I was talking with him and thinking, maybe, maybe not. Let's see where this goes. And all of a sudden, this thought came over me. I think I should leave. There's something wrong with him. He doesn't look right in the eyes. Like, think Charles Manson eyes. Think that. That would be a good picture for you to visualize. But I'm so loaded that the God in me sees it. I'm too stupid to say it. I'm so drunk, but something is moving me, power, to get out of there. I don't know why. I'm looking in his eyes. I'm sealing the deal. But I'm thinking, it's going to ruin my fun, but let me just go home. So, and I knew not to say this to him too. So I said, I'm going to go to the bathroom. I'll be back. Well, I went to the bathroom and ran out the back, got in my car, and drove to safety. And I drove home. And I got home. And I remember thinking, oh, God, girl, you are so good. Because I used to call myself, I used to go around saying 2 words about me. I'm an adventurer, and I'm a survivor. And I used to think that was great, by the way. I would tell everybody, I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. Until my first sponsor said, I don't ever want to hear you say that again. I want you to live instead of survive. But that's another story. So I'm in my house and I'm thinking, girl, you did it, it's cool, and I'm laughing. I don't know why I'm laughing by myself, but I'm laughing. And I hear this. Now, I had no sense not to answer the door at 3:30 in the morning. Right? 3:30 in the morning, I hear I go running to the door like it's daytime or something. Open the door, and it's him. It's him. So he came in, and he had an evil laugh. I don't think I can laugh evil. But it was like, ho, 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 ho. That's not good. I'll spare you on that one. Anyway, it was an evil laugh. Think Manson again. Get Manson. Yeah. So he had a very evil look, a very evil laugh. You know what he did. It wasn't a pretty scene. I'm probably lucky I'm alive. He did rape me. I take responsibility for that. But it scared me. It scared me. And something inside here broke. Seconds and inches. It hit. This is bad. I felt a presence. I knew something had to happen. I fell on the floor, and I called out to a God I don't even believe in. I said, God, please help me. Now, that was just like a rote thing. Like, I didn't even believe in God, but I said, God, please help me. Now, he knew I didn't believe in him, but he still helped me because he believed in me. I didn't even know what I was doing. I had a case of beer out in my garage, a full case of beer. And I remember thinking, God, please help me. With all the sincerity I could muster, with all the reality, with all the fear, with everything in me completely broken, burnt to the ground, I called on a power I didn't even believe in. I never drank again. I never drank again. However, I was still on those prescriptions. And I married Bob. He moved me to Colorado. He was after my money, so it's gone now. He moved me to Colorado. I had about a year sober, not drinking, I had a year not drinking. I was on some prescriptions. He threw them away. And then Bob said, Paula, go to AA. And I'm like, why do I need to go to AA? I'm not drinking. And that's what I really thought. AA was for people who were drinking and wanted to stop drinking. I said, Bob, I'm not drinking anymore. He says, I heard A&A really works well. Why don't you go to AA? Now, AA is the very thing that broke our relationship up. Well, it didn't break our relationship up, but what I discovered when I started going through the steps was that Bob and I weren't meant to be. But God used him to get me into a society that I had no clue what it was about, none whatsoever. So remember, I come tripping in AA in 1979, all cute and a little 23-year-old Paula, and oh God, losers. And so here I am now, tripping back into AA again, and I'm thinking, well, from my last experience, I'm already not drinking. I know. Hi, my name is Paula, and I don't love my husband anymore, and I don't know what to do. I didn't know what I was supposed to share, so that's what I shared. That was my first meeting. That's what I said. And I remember thinking, man, there's a lot of good-looking guys in there. So here I am looking at the guys, right? But let me tell you something about that AA experience, that first AA experience. I don't know if my eyes were seeing different or they were different. I think it's a combination of both. AA was different. It was in a different area. It was in a pocket of enthusiasm. I was on the East Coast. There was no real recovery there. I didn't tell you I was a member of Adult Child of Alcoholics, and my parents aren't even alcoholics. I mean, any excuse to talk about myself. That's my early AA experience. Here's my new AA experience. These people in this room are beautiful. You ought to see the lights. And by the way, guess what they were talking about? God. I didn't hear that because I'm an atheist. What I saw was the beauty on their faces, the light in their eyes. It was so attractive, and I didn't even know what they were saying. I didn't even know what they were saying. They were laughing, they were happy. Oh, I could see were the good-looking guys in the room. However, guess what happened? After I shared, I did what I usually like to do, like look around and see what guy I want to talk to, and all the girls surrounded me. That was a new experience. And none of the guys came up to me. So if you guys are coming up to new girls, stop it. We don't need you doing that. If you girls are going up to new guys, stop it. Let them get through the steps. Because that's what they did for me. That's what they did for me. And here's another interesting thing. You know how you take her number and, no, you give her your number. And then you say, call me. Don't do that. Because I never called anybody on a list. You know what they did? They assigned me a sponsor. Paula, this is Meg. Meg, this is Paula. Paula, Meg is your sponsor. Oh, okay, whatever. I don't know, because I never had this experience before, so it's all new to me. I don't know what's going on. I'm like, all right, cool. If you people are doing that, I want to do it too. You look happy, I want to be happy, why not? So that's how I felt, and so I didn't have any real experience with, sorry, I have to tie my hands down. But anyhow, so Meg was kind of cool. Meg was Lakota Indian, so that was kind of neat. It was a different experience. Yeah, she's talking about walking the red road, and I'm like, yeah, that sounds kind of cool, you know. And so, you know, we started getting together. We started talking about the steps, and I don't see nothing coming. Like I already told her, Meg, I know all about powerlessness. I learned that in the rehab. And she said, you know, and I remember telling her some of the craziest stuff. Like when I think about it now, I remember saying to her, Meg, I'm just like a party girl. And I've just learned I can't party anymore. And she said, Paula, you will never use the word party again. So if you guys think you're partying, look at how you act when you're drunk. It's not a party. And that's what she was telling me. She said, I don't ever want to hear you say the word party again. If you look up the word party as people having fun, they know when it ends, you are not the epitome of a party. You are drunk, you are sloppy, your clothes come off. At the very least, they might stay on, but you might get a DUI, you might not come home, you might come home. That's not a party for you or anybody else involved in that. And I was like, damn, I hate her. She's so mean. She's so mean. But you know what part of it was? If you're lying to people, don't. I would have known a lie. I'd been lied to the first time it wasn't attractive. I would have known a lie. Like, even though I thought she was mean, there was truth underneath of that. So I tell the truth today, which makes me really unpopular, but I say it with love in my heart. That's what she was doing. She was saying the truth, but it was with love. So my feelings got hurt, but my eyes saw it. My eyes saw the truth. Now, did I say, oh, namaste, the God in me sees the God in her? No, I was not that evolved, trust me. We were still talking about being powerless, and I thought it was all about this, right? She's pulling me along real slowly, you know. She starts talking about, like, right at the first step in Colorado, they talk about page 52, like, right away. Because that's the unmanageables. They called it the unmanageables. They never called it the bedevilment, even though it's called the bedevilments in the book. So she's talking about powerlessness. I didn't know she meant I needed him, you know, power bigger than me. I thought she was just talking about the mental and the physical. Then she starts talking about unmanageables. And she said, read this and see if you can relate to it. And I read it. And for the first time, I bet you in 20 years, I burst out crying. And she said, I have to tell you another truth. You're probably the saddest person I've ever met. And I thought I was fooling her. Because I didn't tell you, I had a full-length black mink coat. I went, and my Range Rover, I was losing it. But so there I am thinking, I'm looking all good. I'm probably fooling her. Her eyes saw right through it. Saw right through it. She said, you're the saddest looking person I've ever met. And then, of course, I could relate to everything on page 52. She said, Paula, that's alcoholism. That's what you suffer from. You're using alcohol to treat your alcoholism. And when you're not drinking, you're using other things. Mike, jobs, money, whatever, you name it. She said, that's your alcoholism. So I said, okay, that makes sense. I got it. You know, the other thing, I kind of lost my balance there, so if you're wondering why I was doing that. The other thing that she talked about too was like in Bill Wilson's story, where he'd say he fancied himself a leader. I said, oh my God, Meg, I'm just like that. Like, I fancy myself going places too. And she looked at me like, and you're proud of saying that? You're sitting in my basement. You never finished anything. She was right, I never finished anything. Like, I'm the kind of person that starts out really good, looks really good, and then never finishes anything, ever. So, you know, so I was relating to everything in the book. There's so much good stuff in the book. I mean, it's like I'm almost out of time, but so many good passages in the book that speak to me. I moved on to step 2, and I had a really bad problem with the God thing, as I told you. And this is where I said to her, I don't believe in God. I'm an atheist. And you know what she said to me? She did not say, that's okay. You know what she said? She said, we agnostics, and if you can't believe in, or you're not willing to believe in a power greater than yourself, I can't work with you. Because your self-reliance has failed you. You have nowhere else to go. And she started talking about me at step 1, me at my life, me burning my life to the ground. She said, there is no other choice. You either have a spiritual awakening with a power greater than you, whether you like it or not, or you're going to go back and drink again, and I'm not willing to tell you that lie and the truth again. And I kind of swallowed, and I got up because she dismissed me, and she said, read We Agnostics. And I went home. She called my bluff. I called her up and I said, I can do it. I said, I can do it. I didn't believe it, but I had to go through the steps. I was told I had to go through the steps. See, I've been bluffing and BSing, Paula Brown Eyes, brown-eyed bull, all my life. A lot of mask, really good actor. Really, really good actor. And I sat downstairs in her basement for the first time, and the masks were coming off. I knew I had no place else to go. I really didn't. And all my life I'd been exhausting myself, tiring myself, running, afraid of you finding me out, afraid of what you would think. Let me be this way, let me be that way. It's so exhausting. And for the first time, someone was sitting with me, giving me attention for no motives. And that was another thing that had never happened before. I could see the love in her. And we moved on and all the way went up to the 4th step, and really interesting thing happened there. She gave me directions. I had a really cool 3rd step experience. I should tell you about that real quick. First of all, I fought that again because at each step I had to surrender. It was new information that I just couldn't buy. And the idea that me being a widow was selfish was more than I could even fathom. How dare you call me selfish? I am not selfish. However, we started talking, and what I discovered is I have a lot of motives. And when I do things for people, it's not for the joy of doing things for them. It's not for the joy of seeing that they're okay. It's because I want credit for it. It's because I want attention for it. And that's how I'd run my life. So she kind of got me with the step 3, And she also introduced me to that idea of me needing to be right all the time. And I remembered how I'm always banging up against my current husband because I want him to do everything my way. And I started thinking, maybe I'm not as right as I think. Maybe just because Bob wants to go left and I want to go right, maybe Bob's right. I remember going home that day and having a conversation with him, and for the first time, not debating with him anymore, not yelling anymore, not carrying on with him anymore, and just looking at him like a person. That was a shift. I finally looked out and saw you. I was always seeing me, even when I was pretending like I was looking at you. It's the first time. It's a little bit of an awakening there, a little bit of being reborn. She gave me 4-step directions. I never saw her again. She relapsed. Didn't even see it coming. She relapsed. And so I was floating around for a while in Colorado, and I did something really odd, but not so odd. I started going to a local bar, because I'm a pool shark. Oh, I didn't tell you about that. Yeah. So I thought, let me go and play pool with the non-spiritually fit members of AA, because they're my peeps. So that's what I did. So I went there. I'm playing pool, and I remember this guy saying, well, you can have a near beer. No, I'm not a near beer kind of girl. What the hell would I want one of those kind of things for? It sounded kind of good, though. Yeah, that sounds good. I remember bellying up to the bar and looking like this, and then running home. The God in me again, operating in my behalf. Anyway, another woman took me under her wing, and she listened to my 5th step. She slid my 9th step over. That's how they did it there. And she said, these are the amends you need to make. I don't even remember doing 10, 11, and 12, but I'm here to tell you that what they did there was so unique, they immediately had you helping others. So why do I need to go through the steps again and again, or better than what Joyce did, my second sponsor, when I can have the experience myself? It really is in showing that you really learn. So everybody that I've been able to help through the steps, sometimes they stay sober, sometimes they don't stay sober, but I learn a little bit more about me. I get a little bit more clarity. I get a little bit more spiritually fit. I get a little bit more love in my heart. I get a little bit less afraid of people. I get a little less crippled up with life. I get bolder. I get God. It's the most amazing experience. That happens for one reason and one reason only: helping others. That is what I spent the last 18 years doing. That's why you don't see me up here doing this. I'm more likely to be in a back room. I'm not bragging on myself. I only do it because I like to feel good. And then what happens is, I'm feeling good, I'm watching you get the light in your eyes, and I start liking it because you look like you're feeling good. It's magic. I think Julie was saying that today. It's absolute magic. So I had two things that happened for me. I either think about me, which puts me in spiritual depression, or I think about you. I put AA first. I've got an unbelievable life. And I'm all over sponsoring people. I'm in school full-time. I'm a single mom. I work full-time. I travel all over the place, and I always have time to help others. I will never say no. I might say no to doing this. Sorry. I'm not perfect. Let's not exaggerate but, you know, it's not because of Mother Teresa. I mean, don't think that about me. I'm really not. I'm kind of crazy, and I get off track. There was a period of time, oh God, this is so funny. There's a period of time where Julie knows about this. I got a little bit off track. I told you I had money, lost money, had money, lost money. A lot of people died in my life. And all of a sudden I had all this money. And I said to myself, I either need to go to India or I need to go to Vietnam. Because I love Thich Nhat Hanh. And if I go to Vietnam, I could be of some use over there. This is very important. I need to go to Vietnam. Now, I don't speak Vietnamese. I don't know the language. I don't know the customs. But I think I'm going to be of the maximum use over in Vietnam. Well, I went to Vietnam, and, you know, it's okay. And I went to China. Maybe China's where I need to go. You know. So, you know what I discovered? I'm an alcoholic. I have English as my language. God made me this way. I might as well help alcoholics. The other thing with school, for the first time ever, I am finishing something. I am old, and I'm not old, older, and I'm actually getting my undergrad degree, and I'm going to sign up for the master's program too. And none of that has taken me away from anything. It hasn't. For a while there, I was overstudying. Yeah, I got yelled at by all my friends, you know. Even they were. Of course, I was like, how dare you? I had more time than you. But I knew, again, the truth knows the truth. You know, no matter who it comes from, the truth knows the truth. So I spend a lot of time today. Well, B knows because we trade a lot of spiritual passages on Facebook and things like that. But I guess one of my favorite passages, if I were to ever say one, would be I stand by the door. Yeah. I'm a doorkeeper. You know what that means? It means I don't come inside here. I try. I don't do this perfectly. But wrap your minds around this. You're a doorkeeper. You're going to stand at the door. You're going to pull people in. Because see, if you go in and you get with your peeps, you see him standing there by himself? Probably not. He might be crawling along that wall, right? Crawling along that wall. He can't make it in. He needs your help. So I'm a doorkeeper. So I try to keep that mantra. I'm not real good at that. I'm so imperfect. It's not funny. But when I read that and remind myself of that, it gives me the hope. It gives me vision. It keeps me on track. Just to be a doorkeeper, let God manage my life, and look at everything He's given me. And I'm the one that keeps throwing it away. I mishandle everything. It is not God. Over and over again, God gives me stuff, and I just toss it. But the one thing I've not stopped is being a doorkeeper. So thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Can we thank Paula one more time for coming up for Delaware? I'd like to make an announcement that we have 3 rooms we have available to us. There's one big one behind here, and there's also the actual sanctuary to let us use. We're probably outgrowing this room. We're at standing room here, pretty much running out of chairs. So if that night you come here and we're not in this room, there's 2 other rooms that we have. So just look for us. We'll be hiding somewhere. And try to. I hate to say it, try to funnel in as you come into a room, because at last minute people have a hard time with it. At this time, I'd like to invite. Next week, Scott Sheldon will be speaking next week. It's going to be a party as usual. Hope to see us all here. This time I'd like to invite anybody who cares, joining us in closing with the Lord's Prayer. Moment of silence. Do with it with what you like, and follow with the Lord's Prayer. Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
God put a word in your song.